What's up, Teeters? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. This is the day after, and I wish upon you all a very safe and merry new year coming up real soon. I wanted to do this video really quick because I'm really shocked and pleasantly surprised about the verdict that happened in Tacoma, Washington, in reference to Manuel Ellis. 3 police officers that were charged with his death have been found not guilty. And let me tell you why this case is probably more significant than you think. Well, this happened before George Floyd. Like, this happened way before George Floyd. And yet the George Floyd thing with the police officers that were involved in that, including Chauvin, well, that they rushed that along. But this right here is what amazes me, because the case is really similar. You see, this idiot down here, the one that's smiling, isn't it amazing? They always show the pictures of him smiling. They get these guys, the criminals, okay? And they try to, I guess you that soft, sweeten them up by showing a younger version of them, like they did Trayvon Martin, or just show them smiling. This guy was a menace to society. He was, of course, resisting arrest, but here's why his case is similar to George Floyd. He was found to have methamphetamines in his system. Now, I know fentanyl was found in Floyd, but still, drugs were the cause of the death. Just like it was the fentanyl was the cause of the death for George Inner Lip Floyd. This meth and other things were found in his system is the reason why he passed away. Let me show you a little bit of the video. I'm not going to show all of it because I don't know if YouTube likes this type of information anyway. But I'm just going to show you, like, the guy had superhuman strength. He was breaking the law by basically coming and trying to enter in other people's cars. And when the police stopped them, of course, he's fighting the police. Isn't this usually the case? Resisting arrest, fighting the police. Why can't these people learn how to just comply? All right. Their lives would be so much better, and they will be alive. Speaking of lives. All right. So let's just watch this real quick for a second here. See? So fighting the police right there. And this is a woman pulling aside. Stop! What are you doing? Stop! Let him go! And of course, he said 5 times he can't breathe, but he can breathe saying, I can't breathe. So, of course, Crump the Chump jumped on the case real quick, get a money grab playing that, race hustler thing. But I'm going to play the news article, the news headline in a minute. Let me read this article to you so you can get a better idea of how this came along. 3 Washington police officers found not guilty in the death of the black man, which is, why you just put black man? Why you just put daggone Manuel Ellis? We know who that is. 3 Washington police officers have been cleared of all charges in the 2020 killing of a black man whose death was compared to that of George Floyd. On Thursday, a jury found 3 Washington state police officers not guilty of all criminal charges in the death of Manuel Ellis on a Tacoma sidewalk in 2020. 3 officers, Matthew Collins, who's 40 years old, Christopher Burbank, who's 38 years old, and Timothy Rankin, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who's 34 years old, were charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. A jury found the 3 officers not guilty of all the charges because of their attorney's argument that Ellis' death was caused by methamphetamines in his system and a pre-existing heart condition, not their actions. This was so, why couldn't this be the thing with the Chauvin case, with George Floyd? You know what I'm saying? Because these guys, what they do is, let me just go to this idiot here again, right? What they do is, these guys take these drugs and they just go crazy. And then no accountability, of course. They always talk about something. Oh, we need police reform. What about didn't do reform? When we gonna have that a reform? These basketball Americans do not know how to act when they're in front of the police officer. When we gonna have that reform? Anyway, let me just go to the news article, the news headline here that go through the reading of the case and the jury when they found him not guilty. I am really, 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 really happy that these officers are now going to have have their lives restored. Well, it won't be the same. And I don't know if they're able to go back to the same police department. I don't think they should. I believe they should get out of that liberal area and come down to the South, okay, where we don't favor criminals. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to the judge right here.
We, the jury, find the defendant Christopher Shane Burbank not guilty.
Breaking right now, the 3 Tacoma police officers accused in the death of Manny Ellis have been acquitted on all charges.
What about all of us?
Protesters are already taking to the streets as
By the way, the protesters was a small crowd. And this is the reason why I find this story very fascinating. Because, people thought, like I said, this story is very similar to that of George Floyd. And yet and still, they didn't really have a riot. They had a small gathering of people, playing the victim card, but it was really not a big deal. And I said, and by the way, Washington is a libtard state. So I was saying to myself, are things changing? Are people tired of it? I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but like I said, this situation happened before George Fentanyl Floyd, and here it is, a similar situation, and yet still, these police officers were found not guilty, which I'm really, really happy about that.
Over the verdict begin to boil over.
Justice in terms of Pierce County and its courts is something that is lacking for people that look like me.
Como News at 5 starts
oh my
now.
God, I'm such a victim. I'm such a victim. Oh my goodness.
Cleared of all charges in the death of Manny Ellis.
Ellis, a 33-year-old black man, died after he had been tased, choked, beaten, and hogtied with a spit hood placed over his head. The officers accused in his death, officers Timothy Rankin, Christopher Burbank, and Matthew Collins, faced a combined 5 charges, and the jury came back with not guilty verdicts on all counts.
And this
I would like to personally thank these 3 fine officers for their service. You have done our society a great service. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. I cannot believe this.
This case has been controversial.
The thing about this playing the victim is just blows my mind.
Start gaining national attention. Como's Jeremy Harris was in the courthouse as the verdict was ready. Joins us now from a protest that's already forming following the verdict. Jeremy?
Well, and Preston, this is right at 11th and MLK. This is only about 3 blocks west of the Pierce County Courthouse. You can see there has been a protest formed here in the intersection. There have been speakers, members of Manny Ellis's family as well, we know, are here.
The crowd is so small. It was not even a big... These people came and yelled and screamed white supremacy, okay, KKK, blah, 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 racism, all that other stuff. And then they went home. Probably went and got something to eat and they went home. It was so lackluster. It was not a big deal. There was no riots. There was no looting. I'm sure they was angry about that. The Denton Jews, by the way. And there was like no big brouhaha. And you had businesses bordering up their business. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they did it for, it's best to be safe than sorry. But yeah, nothing happened. There was no damage to any property or anything. Like nobody really, for the most part, really cared.
This has been going on for about the last hour. It has steadily grown, I would say, to probably 100 people at this point. And within the last 30 minutes,
100 people. Stop lying. It was, what are you talking about 100 people? No, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, it was really more news crews there than it was the actual people who wanted to sit up here and protest.
Seen Tacoma police go through and actually block the streets in one block each direction from 11th and MLK. This morning, when the day started, there was tension because it was anticipated today could be the day we got a verdict in the Tacoma officers' trial. And that came down around 3 o'clock in the courtroom when everybody was called back in on word that the jury had reached a verdict. This afternoon, we know that verdict is not guilty of all charges for all three officers who were charged. 2 of them charged with murder, 1 with manslaughter. This was a case that has weighed on Tacoma for the last 3 years. This was in March 2020 when these officers were attempting to arrest Manny Ellis. He died, and the cause of his death and the circumstances of his death have been the subject of a 3-month trial here in Tacoma. Very passionate on all sides, of course, the fate of those 3 officers and the family of Manny Ellis seeking justice in the courtroom. We caught up after the court today with some folks that run a business very close to the courthouse. They were actually boarding up their business in anticipation of the potential for some civil unrest. Here's what they told us.
You know, I think everybody should as a community. It's a big deal in the community. I believe it changed a lot of the ways that we police here in Tacoma.
Why? And here's my thing. Like, why is it, and I keep saying this over and over again, why is the responsibility and accountability only on the police? What are they to do when a meth out monster who has superhuman strength is fighting 2 police officers, is spitting at them, is basically cutting them, kicking them? This man is like an animal. And it's like, oh, these poor men, they're just a victim. They didn't do nothing. They were going to go to Harvard. But it's the mean old police officers. Like, what, really? What are the police officers supposed to do in this case? It's like, and the thing about it is that I when people who have a problem with the way police officers are conducting, doing their job, I was like, well, stop calling them. But they won't, because the same guy that now is maggot food is the same people that these guys are always complaining about and will call the police on. So, you can't win with these people. It's just ignoring. I think this is the reason why I in Washington State, that's a very liberal area. It seems to me, and I could be jumping ahead of myself, it seems to me that although they're liberal, they realize that some people can't be tamed, and, well, they need to send a message. Because after all the lawlessness that's been going on in the state of Washington, going on in California, right? Going on in, what is Oregon? Yeah, Oregon. Like, I think these libtards are finally over it. That could be the case.
It's an emotional event for both sides. I mean, I have a lot of sympathy for both sides. And again, I think everybody in the community should. And I think it's something, regardless of what side you're on, could change the face of Tacoma.
Hey, you heard there, she said change the face of Tacoma. You can hear here back at the scene of the protest, you can hear them chanting Manny Ellis' name, and we've told that there is going to be some sort of a vigil
here. No wonder she was both siding, okay? She tried to stay in business. I see you, girl, okay?
Like with candlelight sometime in the next hour or so. There is also a mural to Manny Ellis that's been here for a couple of years in the same area of 11th.
All these people are basically just the cameramen. The crew is, the people who are protesting are very small.
Than MLK. And so, of course, some of the things we've heard from the speakers there, we're not going to show that to you unedited, but just to recap some of what they've said, they took issue with a lot of the way that the trial played out. This was really a contentious trial at several points, back and forth from prosecution and defense. There were times where the judge was rebuking the prosecution, saying they had gone over the line in several ways. The protesters here are upset with how the judge handled the case. We did speak with the Ellis family.
Judge White, right? The judge is white. They need a black woman as the judge. Can't please these people.
Family attorney James Bible within the last hour, he said they're going to seek the Department of Justice, see if they'll look into this case. They'll also make potential for lawsuits, seek justice that way. But of course, this afternoon, the big headline is that those 3 Tacoma police officers were found not guilty of all charges against them. And now we are seeing kind of the fallout from that as this demonstration is still going.
This is not a fallout, dude. This is nothing but a crybaby session.
On here at 11th and MLK. We'll stay here at the scene and bring you updates as they develop.
Okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. Either way, I just want to say that I'm really happy that these officers were found not guilty. I can't lie and say that I wasn't shocked. I was thinking that they were gonna find them guilty because they were trying to still put the message of, don't handle these people the way they should be handled, like animals. And he got tased. He had none. By the way, the taser didn't work. He got tased. He got put down, and not put down. Well, he did get put down, but he was like everything that the police officers did. You know what I'm saying? It was like in reference to non-lethal was not working because the guy was extremely high on meth. All right. He was high on meth. So, and he had a heart condition and he's fighting 2 police officers. So yeah, that caused his death, not the police officer. But you know what? It's just one of those moments where no one wants to hold the real criminals accountable for their actions. Anyway, I thought I'd just, give you all this good news, let you know that this is maybe, I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments section. Is this a turn for the better? Or am I just, being too optimistic? I would love to hear what you have to say by leaving a comment below this video. Don't forget to leave this video a like. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And if I don't see you before, which I think I will do a video before New Year's Eve, but just in case I don't, I want to wish you all a safe and happy New Year's Eve. But I should give another video before then, okay? Later, taters.